Hey guys, Ken here from the Retro Toy Escapades channel in Malaysia. MOTU Origins Eternia has finally started shipping out over the past 1 week to everyone who backed the original crowdfund from back in 2022. And social media has been imploding with news and updates from joyful MOTU fans all over the world who are starting to receive their packages and are now having their childhood hopes and dreams fulfilled. By the way, I wanted to drop a shout out to one of the best MOTU fan groups on Facebook, which is the MOTU Origins WWE Masters, Superstars, and TOG fans. Now, the name may seem like a bit of a mouthful, but the group and its members are amazing. One of this channel's top members, Berkey Allen, is an admin there, and I have found that the updates and fan contributions in this group are some of the very best when it comes to the MOTU community online. So guys, keep up the great work. Like I said, the page is an incredible resource for motor-related news, and I've been enjoying all the content there, especially seeing all the photos and updates from fans who've been receiving the Eternia packages, sharing out all of the assembled units, photos of its features and functions, just everything, man. It's great to see this playset getting so much love in the open. I felt that it wasn't always like this though, because a couple of years ago, when this thing was first announced, all right, it seemed like the announcement was met with a lot of controversy within the community. And this was mainly involving the price point that Mattel was asking for this playset, which was $550 US, not including shipping. Okay, so that is definitely a hefty amount of cash. And we had this growing dissent within the community. Factions were rising up saying that you could not back this project. If you backed it, it would be like telling Mattel that it's okay for them to charge you anything they wanted. All right, never mind if this thing was like the size of an apartment, okay? They can't charge you hundreds for it, all right? But I guess, in the months to come, we'd see play sets that were probably a fraction of the size of this thing going for hundreds of bucks anyway, all right? So is this the new normal? Well, I don't know, but I do know that the cost of everything seems to be going up all across the board. And that just sucks, okay? I get that, all right? It sucks on so many different levels. But when it comes to this Eternia crowdfund, back in 2022, when the crowdfund was initially announced, and if you were somebody who was backing the project, it was pretty much impossible for you to actually talk about it or share your feelings about it in the community because, like I said, there was just too much criticism surrounding this project. And a lot of people were just saying that the project would fail, that the crowdfund would not take off, and they wouldn't get enough backers behind it. But of course, they underestimated the strength of the MOTU community in general. And a lot of people, like I said, who supported the project probably didn't really want to talk about it because the minute you mentioned it, you'd get this noise coming at you saying that you're just a monster, all right? That you were just backing the corporations and whatever they wanted to charge for this thing. So that's why I felt that it's amazing seeing the reactions from the community now, from people who've purchased the playset, who have it in their hands right now and are able to share and talk about it. It's just great seeing the vibes coming off from this successful project. And in fact, the tide seems to be changing. Now, what I see is that there's far less criticism of the project, and demand for it is in fact, as accurately speculated even back then, demand for it just continues to rise, all right? As we can see here from these secondary market listings on eBay, or perhaps more commonly known by some members of the community as Evil Bay. And you see now that there is no way the Eternia playset still exists at that hotly debated original price of $550. Nope. You can't seem to get it for anywhere below $1,000 anymore, all right? And this is across a very wide stretch of listings. And there could have been a lot of people, obviously, who bought this strictly as a means of investment. Many others who picked up multiples for the purpose of reselling. I think I saw a couple of people online showing off their hoard of maybe about like 6 to 7 Eternia playsets. That's right, okay? So right now, if you're looking for a MOTU Origins Eternia unit on the market, this is what you can expect to be paying for it. Now, I think that this is probably one of the best listings I've seen, because, the range of prices that are up online is anywhere between $1,500 to even 2,000, I think. But this one here has got everything, all right, including the early backer bonus figure King Grayskull, and the listing here is for $1,150 US, and that's the buy it now price. Okay, there's even an option here to propose a best offer if you'd like to, and this is pretty much the best deal. Okay, it's not the starting bid or anything like that. It is the get it now price. Okay, among everything that I've seen here, this is probably the closest that you can find to the original selling price. And like I said, it includes all of the tiers. Okay, a lot of the other listings I've seen, the prices are high, but it does not include the King Grayskull action figure. So the King Grayskull action figure has also been making a lot of noise online on the secondary market here. And this was a figure that at the time that it was announced, people were not really that into it. Okay, because this is a character that people are not really that familiar with. He popped up in the Revolution cartoon series, but I'm not really sure if he made a lot of impact with people out there. And Masterverse had already put out a King Grayskull deluxe figure just a couple of months before the announcement of the Origins figure. So people kind of felt that, this was something a little bit too soon. They didn't need like 2 King Grayskull figures in 1 year, but it was only available to those of you guys out there that backed the Eternia playset by a certain time period, an early time period. So at that moment, I think that there was a rush, okay, still to grab hold of this figure, but a lot of people still sat out on it. Definitely, I mean, they did eventually back the Eternia playset. So now you find that there's this mad scramble, okay, for people to grab this figure, because as it turns out, they give it the full collector's treatment. All right, when these images started popping up online, we saw that it came with a mailer box, okay, a very exquisite looking brown mailer box, just like all of the other Mattel Creations exclusives. And on the inside, the figure was packed, specially packed in a collector-friendly, resealable card bag. So, this thing was being given the full release treatment. It wasn't something like they just, popped into a small bag and just sealed it up and threw it into the box. And if you remember, that's kind of how they did it with the Sorceress figure that came in together with the Castle Grayskull playset, but that was years ago. Okay, since then, I guess they know that collectors don't want to receive these things in sealed plastic bags. They want the full collector's treatment. And this is exactly what's happening here with King Grayskull. And the fact that he's now released and so many people can't get their hands on him because he was an exclusive that's only available to early backers of the Eternia playset. What's happened is that this figure has just soared up. Okay, it's just soared up the charts here, right? Going for prices that I've never seen before for a single, MOTU Origins Mattel Creations exclusive figure. Usually these figures go for something like about 100 plus maybe at the most. I think that that's what people have been willing to probably pay for some of these figures. But this time around, I'm seeing King Grayskull going for something like almost $300. All right. Yesterday on Instagram, I watched this very reputable account. Right, he had a listing up. He was selling off the brand new inbox King Grayskull figure for $250, and there was an instant sale. All right, I thought that for me that these guys were just playing, but they were not. All right, it was a legitimate sale. This thing has actually been moving at that average, almost $250 to $300. Now this character King Grayskull, he's not even an OG vintage Masters of the Universe character. Is a character created for the modern era, and now he's like the highest, top-selling, most sought-after MOTU Origins figure of all time. All right, I mean, imagine that. So look, guys, okay, this is what the situation is. Okay, congratulations to everybody who managed to get their hands on the Eternia playset, who have it already in hand, who also were able to score the King Grayskull action figure, because, well, you guys are actually the owners of what I just said, the most sought after MOTU Origins figure in recent memory. Definitely the highest priced one on eBay. So guys, let me know what you thought of the video. Okay, thanks for watching. As always, drop your comments below, and I'll catch you guys again real soon with more content right here. Take care out there. Oh, by the way, guys, earlier in the video, I used a still of this carton box of 4 King Grayskull action figures. This was pretty interesting because I saw this listing turn up on eBay. I have never seen the King Grayskull action figure for Origins being packed in a large carton box like this. and apparently it's straight from the factory, straight from Vietnam. So basically, I figured that this was not direct to consumer. Probably it was being shipped out to Mattel Creations, and from there, they would have just disseminated the King Grayskull figures to everybody that pre-ordered during the early window. But somehow, this particular seller has a legitimate account on eBay, and I've seen that they've managed to get hold of an entire carton box. So that's pretty interesting, okay? Anyway, drop your comments below, and I'll catch you guys again soon.